Perfect. I'll make a start. This will be recorded so everyone can catch this back at the end as well. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome and thank you for attending our webinar on New User 101. If you are new to your company and you need to start using the CRM, if you've never used it before or you just want to know more about it, this is the webinar for you. Just a quick introduction for those of you who don't know me. My name is Matilda and I'll be guiding you through today's session. My colleague Bogdan is also here and we are both CRM onboarding consultants here at Prospect CRM. Today we've put together a straightforward plan to help you get comfortable and efficient with Prospect CRM quickly. We'll be covering the basics of how Prospect CRM is set up so you can find your way around easily, how to find and create customer records, which is key to keeping your customer data up to date, the essentials of communicating within the CRM, whether that's to stay in contact with customers and also your teammates, a quick guide to quotes and orders to make your sales process smoother, tips for managing your tasks so you don't miss out on important activities, and where to find more resources whenever you need to learn something new about the CRM. Our aim is to make sure you leave today's session feeling ready to use Prospect CRM effectively in your daily work. Before we start with the demo, I want to speak to you about our prospect hierarchy. Prospect CRM uses a hierarchical structure with two options. Firstly, we have the single company hierarchy. This is designed for those customers with one location. At the top, we have the company level. Here you can store information about the company, such as their address, phone numbers, and also where we integrate to your accounting or inventory management system, allowing you to see a full sales history. Beneath, we have contacts, so employees you interact with, whether that be owners or sales managers, and their contact details. And then depending on the type of interaction, we then have our opportunities feature. This helps you to manage potential sales through a pipeline. Tools to help you include the activity section with notes and tasks, the ability to save and send emails, and raise quotes and sales orders. On the other hand, we have our problems to help track and manage custom issues with similar tools. The second hierarchy structure is our company group hierarchy, designed for customers with multiple locations. The only difference here is at the top, we have the company group level, which groups together all the locations, so you have a consolidated list for reporting. Then beneath, we have the companies, so each location with its own address and own integration, and then the contacts assigned to the primary locations. And then underneath, we have the same features as single companies, so the ability to create opportunities or problems and raise quotes and orders for you. Over to Bogdan for today's demo.
Hello, I'm Bogdan, and today I will walk you through the demo of Prospect CRM. Now, we need to get familiar with the layout. Please note that depending on your CRM permissions and role, you might get a slightly different view of the CRM than the other users. For example, all the configuration settings are only available to CRM admin users. We are now in our test account. Once you are logged in, you will be greeted with the overview dashboard. Clicking on the button will allow you to expand a menu from which you can select and switch between different dashboards. On the sidebar, you'll find a report menu. This menu is organized into groups, such as people and places. By expanding each group, you'll gain access to a variety of reports that utilize the data from both CRM and your inventory account system. If you expand the More Reports section, you will find the location of your private reports and also the shared reports section. On the main dashboard screen, you will see all sorts of tiles that are also reports, and they keep the information based on your CRM and inventory accounts data. For example, we have Open Opportunities reports tile. This will show you 186 opportunities. If you'd like to know more information about these opportunities, You can open the report by just clicking on it. On the main dashboard, you can also see the task list. You can see all your task items, including the ones that are overdue and upcoming. On the right-hand side, you have a recent activity tile, which shows you all the records and reports you have previously opened. This comes in handy when you would like to go back to a previous record. To find records in the CRM, we have a global search on the top left-hand side. This is how you can quickly find any record within the CRM, such as a company, contact, or inquiry record. You can just type. Before creating any new records into the CRM, it's important that you search for any existing ones to ensure there are no duplicates. Because in the initial sync with your integration system, we pull in your companies and contacts. Going forward, if you wish to add new companies, contacts, these will need to be added into the CRM. Please note, records can be created in the CRM either under an existing record or as a new standalone record. Now, I will cover how to create customer records in the CRM. In the Global Creation tab, you can either create just a company using the Company tab, or if you have a company and a contact information, you can create a business contact. This button will allow you to create two levels of hierarchy all at once in a new record window we see right now. A new company and also a contact, which is a person that works for that company. We will demonstrate that. Then, on the parent, if you don't have the company already created, so you can select it, you can simply change the name and create a company. This will ensure that the company is created. You'll also need to check if all the details are correct. You need to select a role, job title, make sure you input the phone numbers. On the bottom, you will have email flags. Email subscription status determines whether a contact is subscribed or unsubscribed from your email marketing communications. If your CRM is integrated to one of our email marketing providers, like MailChimp, Klaviyo, please note that the email flag will be mapped. Physical mail flag determines whether the contact is subscribed or unsubscribed from marketing communications you send out in the post, such as letters or promotional flyers. Then I will click Create. This is very important. If you create a company, we also have a way of segmenting customers by this. Now, once we have the company created, we'll see all the information we have inputted. And at the company level, everything related to that company. If you need to add another contact other than the one you just added, we have contacts. And we have the plus button right here. This will allow you to add a record to an existing company. At the company level, we also have search terms. This comes in handy, for instance, if a customer has changed his name. You can enter a previous name of the business as a search term. This means you can still find the desired record even if you or other users use the company's previous name. So if I will put the name here as a search term, I can simply go on people and places and search for that. Then, at the company level, if we go on the contacts and you find a contact that has left the company, you simply need to click on the contact. And on the top right corner, we have a three dots menu, and you need to click on left company. This will ensure that you mark the contact as left, and the pop-up will appear on the top that will inform you that the contact left the company. Now, we need to understand the communication essentials. At each level of hierarchy, you see a view of all child items. For example, at a company level, you can see a summary of absolutely everything. All contacts that work for the company, all interactions with all the contacts. As I was saying earlier, you can log interactions underneath each contact, opportunity, and problem. Now, I will show you how to add a note into the activity section. You can add notes to a company, contact, opportunity, and a problem. The activity feed will show you any notes that have been added to a record previously, the user of the CRM who added them, as well as the date and time when they were added. To add a new note, simply click on Post to Activity Timeline. Simply enter the text. You can also copy and paste and the record information, and you can use the formatting we have on the top. So for example, we can make it bold, underline, take a look at the font. Then you need to make sure that the activity note type we can find right here is relevant to the content you are adding. So once you mark the activity to the relevant one, you can also mention people. This will make sure they will be notified. You can also add tags, and this can be a word or a phrase you want to use to help other users to locate the note more easily. After you are happy with this, you can simply click on Post. Then this will be saved to the CRM, and it will be visible to all the other users. Now, we have filtering. This function is very useful and a great tool to find any nodes and also remove any nodes which are not relevant to avoid a backlog of activity. We will use our example. So if I filter by activity type and I choose customer meeting, I should see only the one I've created. It's also important to know how to set up tasks in the CRM. You can set a task on a company, contact, problem, quote, or opportunity. When creating a task, you need to put the task description. This should be an internal reference for you. Then you can assign the task to yourself or any other users. You can put a due date and also a useful description. Once completed, you can mark the task as complete and enter in an outcome from the task. To complete the task you have three options. From the menu bar, clicking onto the task, and it brings uh, up a sidebar, and click on the connected record to view the activity section and then tick as complete. I will demonstrate that. So we can see the task. We can simply click on here or edit. We can enter the outcome. And then we can mark the task as complete. The same button, mark as complete, it's also found here. Now the task is completed. At the contact level, it's very important to know how to create a problem. When selling products, it's normal to have issues. Whether it will be a damaged pallet on delivery or a complaint about an item being faulty, it's important to log all interactions about the issue to ensure it's resolved as quickly and professionally as possible. When creating a problem record, you have the plus button and then problem. The first thing you'll need to do is to put the description. Please note that this is for internal use. Then identify the source of the problem. This is how you found out about the problem. Select the type to categorize the problem. Select the connected workflow pipeline, and this will auto-populate your first status. The statuses represent the key stages that happen or could happen. We have pipelines, and then the status will be automatically populated like this. Then I will create a problem. Once a problem is created, you can assign an owner. You can do that by going on status and assign a relevant person who's in charge with that problem. Then at the problem level, you can click on the email, and this will allow you to input the information, select the templates, and then send it to your customer. To change the status of a problem, we can simply click on the tab, or we have the status right here. And then after the problem is fixed, you can simply close the problem by going on closed. Or you can change on the closing statuses. At the contact level, we are also able to create opportunities where there is a potential to sell to a customer, prospect. Ideally, an opportunity should be created directly under the contact you speak to. On the plus button, we have opportunity. Then the first thing will be description. Again, this is an internal use. Then the parent, as I mentioned, will be the contact we created the opportunity under. You can select a salesperson who will be in charge with the opportunity. Type is used to categorize the opportunity. Pipelines are journeys which should depict the sales opportunity process. Status, this represent the key stages that happen or could happen when managing an opportunity. We also have the estimated size. This is just an estimation on how much the opportunity will bring. Finally, we have the sources. This will allow you to track how you got the opportunity. Then click Create. This will ensure the opportunity is created. And we have an additional thing called Gautometer. The Gautometer is used to record how likely you think the opportunity is to be successfully completed. A value from 0 to 100 can be entered, and this can be used within the reports. You can simply click to move or type. Now, as you have the opportunity created, during the sales opportunity process, you will need to provide your customers with pricing information. For that, we have in the CRM quotes. Quotes in Prospect CRM can be created under either an opportunity or directly under a contact company. As we have the opportunity created, on the top right corner, we can convert this opportunity to a quote, or on the dropdown, we can actually create a subquote. Then you'll need to make sure that all the details are correct based on what you've inputted already. We have the description, the parent. The parent now will be the opportunity we created the quote under. The salesperson, currency, you can select the sell price tier, the relevant warehouse, source, and then make sure the tax code is correct. After you are happy with this, click Create. On the quote, there are multiple ways to add products and pricing to the product lines. We have a search, and we can just type the name of a product and simply click on the product, and this will be added on the quote. The second way is the Add Products button. By clicking on this button, a pop-up will appear, and you will be able to search through the main product categories you have set up. This should sync depending on your integration into the CRM and will be visible. And then you need to put the required quantity you want to sell, amend the price if needed, and click Add and Close. This will ensure again that the product is added on the quote. The last way, you can drag and drop an Excel. Your customers might provide you with a list of the products they want to purchase from you with the desired quantities and in the CSV Excel format. You can simply go on the product lines, the three dots, and we have import products from Excel CSV. By clicking on this button, we have download an example. This will ensure you have a template you can provide to your customers. They will complete that, and you can just drag the Excel spreadsheet here. That will add the products on the quote. Please note, in order to confirm an order, the quote must have the on hold set to no, and the customer will need to have an assigned sales ledger. Once a customer accepts a quote verbally or via email, you can click on confirm. You can click on confirm on the quote record. This will get pushed to your inventory management accounting system. Now, it's important to know how to create sales orders. You can create a sales order against a company, contact, opportunity, or a problem. On the plus button, we have sales order, and we need to make sure the details are correct. Once we click create, we'll have a sales order. And once you have the product added, you can simply click on confirm. This is very good because we can see that my customer I just created doesn't have a sales ledger created. So this will be a very good thing when you confirm sales orders. Just ensure that you have the sales ledgers created. This will create a draft sales order that will be pushed in to the inventory management system, and then we'll have a confirm order right here. So now you have an overview of the CRM and what you can do inside it to make the work easier, to input information and to have everything in one place. On the left-hand side, we have the help button. If you are interested in a feature or you would like to know more about the CRM, you can check out resources by going to the question mark over here. Then we have what's new, where you can see all the new product releases. We have the CRM Academy. You have access to all the documentation. You can make product suggestions, access the chatbot, and find more resources available for you.
Thank you. We've now reached the end of our webinar and we can go straight into the Q&A session. If you have any questions, please add them into the chat or the question answer. I'll wait a few moments for you to add your questions. Perfect. The first question, will the video be shared afterwards so we can refer back? Yes, anyone who has signed up to the webinar, whether you're here with us today or you're now watching it back, if you've signed up, you will receive a link to view the recording afterwards, so you can always refer back to it. Alongside, as Bogdan mentioned, we also have the help. So we have the documentation section and the CRM Academy, which will guide you through what we've discussed today. Can I clear the global search, or does it clear each time I sign out of Prospect CRM? Very good question. The global search, which we saw in the top left-hand corner of your CRM view, is actually connected to the activity report, which is a separate report within your CRM. This actually, unfortunately, cannot be cleared from the system due to the way it's coded for you. Can I change the configuration of the plus drop-down buttons? I'm assuming that's referring to when you're creating a new record off of, let's say, a company, for example, when you go to create a contact or an opportunity or so forth. If you have admin permissions, you actually are able to. So if you go to system settings, again, provided you have admin rights, you can then search for configure UI entity creation. This will allow you to see all the records you can create within the CRM, and you can select whether these are shown on entity, shown globally, and if you need to do so, you can also pin them as well. How does a company group get dealt with within Unleashed? So, good question. The company group setup does differ depending on your integration. Unleashed is one of our inventory management systems. And with Unleashed, the lucky thing is here, you can decide whether you want to have them invoice as separate accounts or if you want to invoice into one. So this works for all the integrations. All your customers will come through as a default single company. And then using the three little dots on a company record, you can then convert to company group and then you can move companies underneath that. By default, they all have their own integration, so therefore they'll stay integrated per single company. But within Unleashed, you can actually apply it to connect to just the one account for invoicing. If we want to create a company group when we already have companies set up, how do we do this? I feel like I may have just touched on that just then. But to do this, navigate to the company that you want to make the company group. On that company, in the top right-hand corner, you have three little dots, one of which says convert to company group. If you press on that button, it will then bring up a pop-up saying, are you happy to move this single company into a company group format and have companies sit underneath for you? Just press yes. That will then change the single company structure to a company group. What will then happen is you'll have a company group, and then the company you have converted to a company group, you'll also have sat underneath as a single company for you. So you don't lose that company, you have it still, but you also have the company group, which you can then further allocate as companies under. We have a couple of questions regarding webinars going forward. So how many are there during the year? Links to sign up to the next webinar. Provided you are signed up to our marketing communication, you'll always receive a warning for the next webinar. Our next one, I believe, is actually on the week of the 8th. So keep an eye out there and you can subscribe to view that webinar as well. But any communication regarding our webinar will come out from our marketing communications. Is there a way to turn off the confirm quote pushing to the item management system? We have extra information that is required on quotes or sales orders that users do not know. Unfortunately, there isn't a way to turn off the confirm quote. However, you can set up a secondary, almost like a step to confirming a quote. What it does is it pops up saying, are you happy with the delivery address? Now, I know this seems silly, but this is making sure that you're happy with the information passing through. So as a workaround, what you could recommend to your sales team is you enter in the details, you go to press confirm, it'll pop up with the delivery. When that happens, you then refer it to one of us so we can add in that additional information that's required on the quotes or the sales order. Again, depending on what that information is, with certain integrations, you can edit the description lines on those product lines, so you can add in the additional information there. Or if you navigate over to the details section, you have an area for memo, which is any comments, and that will also pass over to our inventory management system as well.